Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the paper talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford as usual, and it's pretty mild. I've not even got my parka on, but it's not as hot as it's been over the last few days, in case you're wondering. All the news this morning, well, not all of it, but a big chunk of it, centres around Manchester United's pursuit of Rafael Varane. It does seem to be edging closer, and that man, Mr. Fabrizio, if I get his name right, Romano, tweeted last night, official bid from Man United for Rafael Varane to be submitted in the next few days. United board confident, in inverted commas, deal getting closer. Varane has an almost ready agreement on personal terms. He's not in capital letters, extending with Real. He wants a new challenge. No other clubs in the race. Well, the no other clubs in the race bit is filling me with, I wouldn't say confidence, but optimism, because there were reports earlier on this summer that we would have to go toe-to-toe, perhaps with other clubs. The usual suspects, Paris Saint-Germain, one or two others. But now it seems that's not the case, and that Manchester United hopefully have a clear run at bringing through the French international to Manchester United, because it'd be a massive signing for us, wouldn't it? Let's have it right. There's other developments as well, or other stories centred around it, as I mentioned earlier. There's a piece in the Daily Mail that says Manchester United reach a breakthrough in Rafael Varane talks with Real Madrid, as a 38.5 million fee is agreed for the France defender, who could be an Old Trafford player by the end of the week. So this is another thing. Romano and other reporters and other journalists are saying that the next few days could see the deal actually done. So who knows? By the end of the week, by Friday, whoever's stood here or whoever's in the studio could be stood here saying it's done deal, which would be a pretty phenomenal signing for Manchester United, as I mentioned earlier. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But if we can get him, especially for 38.5 million, which, whilst I'm never too sort of overly fussed about transfer fees, if it means it enables us to get another player in, then I am. Because there is talk that Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer do have a fairly limited budget, if you can call 150 million quid or whatever is limited. I think it is in this day and age. So bringing in Varane, not on the cheap, but cheaper than you probably expect to pay for him, because he's only got a year left on his deal, would be a pretty good thing. And it hopefully could enable us to sign more players, potentially Saul Niguez. There's another story here doing the rounds, and that's that Manchester United are weighing up a move for Atletico Madrid star Saul Niguez, amid growing belief a deal can be struck for around 45 million quid. As the club target a top-level midfielder, with PSG ready to table an offer for Paul Pogba. So there's two sides to this story, isn't there? There's the fact that Paul Pogba looks like he could be heading to PSG. If you've not seen it already, we had a little bit of a debate on the channel, myself, Adam McCullough, Joe Smith. Not Joe Smith. It wasn't Joe Smith. Joe Smith wasn't even there. What am I talking about? Forgive me. It was myself, it was Adam McCullough, and who else was it? Ronaldo Brown, thank you, that boy Ronaldo, there you go. Producer Callum pays attention, even if I don't. So we had a bit of a debate on whether Paul Pogba has been a success, whether we want him to stay, whether we want him to go, and the general feelings we'd all like him to stay, but he probably isn't going to. And it looks like Saul Niguez could be a replacement, if you can call him that, for Paul Pogba. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. A few weeks ago, this seemed purely like paper talk. It didn't seem like it was going to happen, but now with the fact that Pogba looks more likely to leave than he did a few weeks ago, maybe Niguez could be the answer. We'll have to wait and see. As always, we'll keep you posted. There's a few other stories doing the rounds as well. There was one that I saw in the Metro this morning. I think it was this morning. Oh, no, sorry, it was late last night. That United are actually still looking at Jules Kounde. Even if we get Rafael Varane, or maybe as an alternative. I think it was saying we're still looking at him. Want Jules Kounde as well as Rafael Varane was the headline, which I think is quite extraordinary if United bought Varane and Kounde, because Kounde's just going to sit on the bench, and he's not going to get in ahead of Harry Maguire and Rafael Varane. And I don't really see that happening, I'll be honest with you. I don't see Manchester United bringing in two centre-backs. So yeah, I'd file that under doubtful. My job's to tell you what's being reported out there. That's been reported, so keep your eyes on it. But I'm extremely sceptical about that. But if the Varane deal falls through, then who knows? Maybe Kounde could end up coming to Manchester United. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, had a good spell at Sevilla. We've seen what he can do there. But is he coming to Old Trafford? I don't really see it happening. But like I said earlier, we'll see how it goes. And if it does happen, we'll be the first to let you know. Let you know. Another one we've seen doing the rounds, and I'm extremely sceptical about this, but again, I'll let you know what's going down. There's this report that maybe Manchester United are looking at some sort of swap deal for Haaland Martial with Erling Haaland. So we give them Martial and some money, I presume, and Erling Haaland comes in. Now, this emanated from Mundo Deportivo. And then other papers have picked up on it, and a few others are running with it. I think the Express had it, saying, oh, you know, swap deal could be on the cards. I've translated it, and I'll read it verbatim after the translation. So it's talking about Manchester United and going strong in this transfer market by signing Jadon Sancho. It says, for the attack at Old Trafford, they also dream of Haaland and even considered including French attacker Haaland and Martial in the operation with Borussia Dortmund, for whom he paid €80 million to Monaco years ago. So that to me doesn't sound like a swap deal's on the cards. It sounds like it was a consideration of maybe trying to make that happen. Also, I don't think we're getting Erling Haaland, certainly not this summer. I don't think we're getting Dortmund's two best attacking players in the same window. I just don't see that happening. I don't know if Dortmund would go for the swap deal with Anthony Martial anyway, and I just think that it's unlikely. And I think from what we're hearing with Haaland, he's probably likely to spend another season at least at Dortmund. Maybe next season. I think that's when his buyout clause kicks in as well. He can move on, but I'd be extremely surprised if Manchester United even made an attempt to sign Erling Haaland, whether that's with Anthony Martial as just part of a swap deal or anything else. In terms of Anthony Martial, there are as well some other stories doing the rounds that he's been linked with a move to Spurs. I'm not sure how concrete that is. When I was looking into it, it didn't seem like there's anything solid. It seemed more like just gossip, really. That maybe that kind of makes sense. If he's not going to get much game time next season, Spurs he's a player that maybe could fit in there. I'm not so sure though. I think that you'd have to have a lot of ifs and buts and maybes. If Harry Kane leaves, then maybe he can play down the middle. I think Son plays on the left for them, so he's not going to play on the left there. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just seems like an unlikely one. But as with all the stories, we'll let you know if there are any developments with Anthony Martial, with Erling Haaland, with Jules Kounde, and more importantly, with Raphael Varane, who looks like he could be heading to Old Trafford. Dare I say it, any day now? It does feel like that, doesn't it? It gets that feeling like there's a little bit of momentum here now, and that this actually could be happening. My only worry is that little niggle at the back of my mind that's saying, could he just turn around and go, actually, Real Madrid, give me a better contract, I'm going there. Maybe, but it's not looking likely. But we'll wait and see anyway. This has been The Paper Talk. We've got loads of good stuff coming up on the channel as usual. We'll have the Paddock podcast later on. We'll also have Transfers Live later on tonight. I think that's me and Joe who are on that. Make sure you're making sure. What's going on here this morning? Make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well, hitting that like and that share button, and hitting the notification bell on your subscribing, so you get all the notifications when we go live, when we post a video, as we will be doing hopefully very soon as well, to let you know that we've had a here we go for Raphael Varane, as it looks like it's edging closer. I've been Motty. This has been The Paper Talk outside a mild Old Trafford. Thanks for watching.